actually have very dry conditions on the way. Red flag warning goes into effect tonight at about 3 a.m. lasting through Thursday evening for the mountains and valleys. We could see our winds sustained 15 to 30 miles per hour. Humidity forecast to fall below 10%. Now, even though we do have this fire weather coming our way, according to the Forest Services, what they're claiming is that the fire weather threat is really going to be a category 1 out of 4, meaning if any fires do happen to spark, they're going to grow or they have the potential of growing quickly. But if you think about that category, yet again, it's on the very minimum side of that 1 out of 4. Wind forecast showing you starting you off tomorrow morning at about 7 a.m. The winds kicking up out over toward the mountains and valleys, Campo at about 20 miles per hour. Everyone, though, dealing with their winds coming on in out of the east, and that is a sign that that Santa Ana condition is here, pushing in some of that warmer air. It looks like by the afternoon, a small coastal sea breeze begins to kick up. So the coast temperature is still well above average, but I don't think we'll see any record-breaking heat there. Looking for about 13 in Del Mar at around 1 o'clock, the same into San Diego, whereas they peak closer out over toward Campo and into Pine Valley into the upper 20s as the winds stay on the high side into Thursday. Coming up, we talk more about the Santa Ana heat we're forecast to get. Guys? Here at home, we don't have tropical weather. We have quite the opposite. We have very dry conditions, and with that, here at home, we don't have tropical weather. We have quite the opposite. We have very dry conditions, and with that, noticing our winds about 15 miles per hour. I think the coast is going to stay about 5 to 10, but for inland communities, that's where you'll notice your winds really increasing close to that 30 mile per hour zone once you get through about Wednesday and even into Thursday. El Cajon, currently you're at 79 degrees. Check out your dew point in the 50s. That is comfortable. It will dramatically drop, though, tomorrow and Thursday will be the driest. With those Santa Anas coming our way, also increasing the winds, it will increase the temperature as well. High pressure at the surface still working its way closer out toward the four corners. There's also an upper level high pressure system. When those two things are pretty much stacked, we're going to get a double dose of offshore flow, and as a result, that's what will really send those temperatures warming up. It's also going to send those winds really accelerating as it pushes down those mountain slopes. For tomorrow, you will notice your temperatures increasing, very warm. We're talking about summertime heat. It is going to be here. So by 6 o'clock tonight, your commute on home, the upper 60s for the coast, inland areas, on into the lower 70s. 71 for you into Lakeside, the same value into El Cajon. Tomorrow morning, we may start out with a little bit of haze along the coast, but it doesn't last long. Going for around 60 in Ensenada, 62 into San Diego, the 50s out toward Lakeside and El Cajon. The wind's already strong with that fire weather warning that will go into effect over the evening hours. So tomorrow by 1 o'clock, check this out. Already looking at the 90s for Lakeside, Oceanside at 79 degrees, Chula Vista about 82, Campo 81 degrees. Thursday, though, we could see our hottest temperatures. You'll see temps possibly getting close to record-breaking heat, Ramona and even into El Cajon. Mira Mesa going for 94 on into Thursday. Almost the triple digits for El Cajon there, and downtown into the upper 80s. I think you will, in fact, crack into the lower 90s. So the water, a great place to try to cool off. There is a high risk of rip currents, though. Fair conditions for you surfers. You'll notice waist to shoulder high sets with high tide coming in just before noon. 7-day forecast, 85 degrees tomorrow for the coast, going 91 Thursday, inland 92, and then 98 Thursday and Friday. Okay, we actually have fire weather coming our way. Red flag warning goes into effect tonight at about 2 a.m., staying with us through Thursday evening for everywhere shaded in red. That means Escondido, El Cajon, even out toward Ramona, where you'll see your gusts 40 to 50 miles per hour. But here's the kicker. The humidity will fall into the single digits, and right now it looks like Thursday will be the driest day. Look at the kind of comparison here. Your humidity forecast tonight at about 6 o'clock, about 70 to 80% for the coast, Ramona 74%, even out over toward Julian, 76%. Watch the difference by the time we get to tomorrow morning and we usher in our winds a little bit stronger coming in out of the east. We're noticing them falling. Already humidity down to 28% in Julian, pushing into Ramona down into the 20% range as well. And continuing to watch that dry air move through the region. Now Poway 11% once you get closer to the afternoon. The lowest it's found to be about 8% out over toward Alpine. So it's still going to be fairly dry with that Santa Ana condition, but Thursday, in fact, we'll notice the humidity continuing to push a little bit closer out over toward the coastline, at least that drier air beginning to move through Encinitas, maybe only 19% humidity by the time we get to Thursday afternoon. So with the heat in play, the coast goes to 85 degrees with that Santa Ana. Inland, you're looking at around 92. Coming up, we take a look at your 7-day forecast. Guys, to contend with. Right now, we're looking at around 78 degrees into Mira Mesa, 73 up through Escondido. Good afternoon to you in Del Mar at about 68 degrees. Look at the dew point. Now remember, this measures how much moisture we have in the atmosphere. Anything at 50, comfortable. Above that, a little humid. Below that, a little dry. Right now, everyone's pretty comfortable. Tomorrow, we will see that dew point fall into the 20s for inland areas, The 30s for the coastline. That extremely dry air will lead to the threat of fires growing fairly quickly. It's also going to lead to fairly dry skin. So keep that lotion with you, maybe even a little bit of that chapstick as well. Well, we have the drier air. They're dealing with a little bit of rainfall along a cold front that's moving right now through the Great Lakes all the way out over toward Texas. Tomorrow forecast to bring a round of severe weather, possibly out over toward the southern half of Missouri and even into Arkansas. But ahead of that front, they're talking about the heat as well. So when you call your relatives maybe in the Northeast and say, oh my goodness, it's so warm here, they're going to say, it's warm here as well. Check this out. In D.C., 84 degrees tomorrow. Out into Philly, 85. Austin, 96 degrees. Now, once they get to Thursday, that cold front gets a little bit closer to them, dropping them down into the upper 70s for Philadelphia and even into D.C. Down about 12 degrees into Austin at about 84 degrees. And if you know anyone heading out to the Pacific Northwest, Portland will be into the lower 60s, looking for a slew of rainfall coming on down on Thursday, drying out a little bit closer to Friday and Saturday. 70 forecast, talk about our heat, man. 85 degrees tomorrow, plenty of sunshine. Thursday going for 91, Friday you're at about 87 again until you drop next work week slightly to the lower 90s. That's Look at Your